Helping a lost dog reunite with her home can often be as straightforward as checking her tags, gaining her trust, and coaxing her into your vehicle. However, regrettably, not all encounters with lost animals unfold seamlessly. In Kentucky, a woman named Melissa Ringstaff, along with her family, adheres to a motto: "We can't save the world, but we can do something about the one in front of us." Their dedication to this motto extends particularly to animals, and they have a track record of rescuing and caring for stray animals they come across in Harlan, Kentucky. One fateful Saturday morning, as the Ringstaff family embarked on a 2-hour drive, they spotted a large dog lying motionless in the opposite lane of the highway. Cars swerved to avoid him, raising concerns that the dog had been struck by a vehicle. Melissa's husband, Michael, a pastor, activated the hazard lights and pulled over. They approached the dog, only to find that he showed no signs of injury. It was then that Melissa made a heartbreaking discovery. In a nearby ditch along the highway lay another dog that had been fatally hit by a car. Evidently, the dog in the road had been faithfully guarding his fallen companion. The sight deeply moved Melissa, and she couldn't help but feel heartbroken. The Ringstaffs attempted to coax the dog into their truck, but he steadfastly refused to leave his friend's side. With heavy hearts, they reluctantly left the loyal canine behind, as they were on a day trip. However, their commitment to helping animals led them back to the scene 10 hours later. To their surprise, the dog had not abandoned the area, though he had moved away from the road. Determined to fulfill their motto of making a difference, the Ringstaffs managed to lift the massive dog into their truck, just as they had done for countless other lost dogs in the past. As they scoured the area for any signs of the dog's owner, locals shared a tragic story. These dogs had belonged to someone who had relocated and left them behind to fend for themselves, resulting in the unfortunate demise of one of the dogs. The abandoned Great Pyrenees had no home to return to, and they had been living near the highway for several days. Filled with compassion and sadness, Melissa and her family knew that they had to improve this dog's circumstances. They brought him to their home, provided him with nourishment, a bath, and a haircut. That night, they introduced him to a brand new kennel, intending to ensure his safety and comfort. However, during the night, the dog managed to escape from the kennel and disappeared from the Ringstaff's home. Upon discovering the broken kennel door, the family embarked on a frantic search to find him. Throughout the day, they tirelessly searched for the dog, inquiring with everyone they encountered and visiting the Humane Society and police stations. Despite their best efforts, they couldn't locate the Great Pyrenees. 3 days passed in their relentless search, covering over 100 miles throughout the small Kentucky town. Finally, they spotted the dog just a few miles from their home, sitting contentedly on a stranger's porch. The next day, Melissa purchased dog tags for him, giving him a new name. Initially inspired by the 2009 film Hachi, A Dog's Tale, they named him Hachi, drawing parallels to the film's loyal dog who stayed with his deceased friend. Nevertheless, they ultimately chose a more joyful name to reflect his brighter future. In the end, Melissa penned, "We settled on the name Tucker." Despite its simplicity, the name somehow resonated perfectly with the dog's personality. He's incredibly sweet, remarkably gentle, and we've yet to hear him bark. He's Tucker, and he's officially a part of the Ringstaff family. As the Ringstaffs demonstrated, sometimes ordinary drives down the road can lead to extraordinary encounters. And according to a Pennsylvania couple, it's often in the most remote places that life's most unexpected moments unfold. One sunny afternoon, Danielle Finley and her boyfriend were cruising along a dirt road in rural Pennsylvania when they stumbled upon one such surprising encounter that would alter the course of their lives forever. Initially, the couple spotted a peculiar-looking creature trotting alongside the dirt road. Danielle couldn't help but think it resembled a hyena, although she knew that couldn't possibly be the case. After all, they were in Pennsylvania, not the African Serengeti. Curiosity got the better of them, and they decided to pull over to investigate further, uncertain if the creature needed their assistance. Both of them stepped out of the car, and as soon as they saw what the mysterious creature was, their hearts went out to it. To their astonishment, it was a small Cairn Terrier. The moment he saw Danielle and her boyfriend, he dashed over to them with boundless enthusiasm. However, the couple couldn't help but feel a pang of sorrow at the sight of the dog's condition. He had patches of missing fur, and it was evident he hadn't eaten in days. At first, Danielle hesitated to touch the dog, whom they later named Phil. They already had 2 dogs of their own in the car, and it appeared that Phil might have a skin condition. They were wary of transmitting any potential illness to their pets or themselves. Nevertheless, Danielle and her boyfriend were devoted animal lovers, and they decided to take a chance. They scooped up the little pup and placed him in the back seat of their car. They provided him with food and water, both of which he consumed voraciously within minutes. Their next destination was the nearest veterinarian for a thorough examination. Although they initially suspected Phil might have mange, a contagious skin condition caused by mites burrowing into the skin, the veterinarian arrived at a different diagnosis. Phil was suffering from a severe condition that had caused his hair loss and the development of rashes. There were no reports of a missing terrier in the local newspapers, but the vet believed that Phil had likely had an owner not too long ago. In other words, he wasn't a stray. Based on the condition of Phil's worn-down teeth, the vet surmised that he had probably spent most of his life confined in a crate. Eventually, when his health deteriorated, his owner had abandoned him on an isolated back road. It was a sad reality, but many rural areas in Pennsylvania were notorious for harboring some of the country's worst puppy mills. Therefore, it was highly plausible that Phil had once been a part of one. Following the visit to the vet, Danielle and her boyfriend made a life-changing decision. They couldn't leave Phil behind as his previous owner had done. Right there and then, they adopted Phil. They initiated a special diet to help him regrow his fur, and within weeks, the pup exhibited significant improvements in health and happiness. They also considered themselves fortunate that their 2 existing dogs quickly embraced Phil. The trio now spent their days playing outdoors, and Phil formed a particularly close bond with Lily, the couple's Boston Terrier. Danielle's boyfriend, despite initial concerns about taking in another dog, wholeheartedly welcomed Phil as one of their own. He treated all 3 animals as if they had always been together. From the very beginning, the couple never allowed Phil's physical imperfections to obscure his beauty. They fell in love with the Cairn Terrier almost instantly, and they couldn't imagine their lives without him. Thankfully, they didn't have to.